Okay, well, welcome to the Tribe Digital Marketing Series. For today, we are joined by Tracy Skochil, an engagement manager with our go-to-market practice. Tracy, thank you for joining.
Thanks for having me. And you got my name right. Well done.
I crushed it. I did ask you before, but. All right. So typically what we like to do is just get to know you a little bit first and start off with, what do you love about marketing?
Yeah, I kind of fell into marketing. I started out life on the side of journalism. So I was back in the newspaper days when everybody started to say that newspapers were dying and print
Love it.
was going away. And life kind of transitioned, and I transitioned into content marketing and strategy because I love everything to do with storytelling. And that's so crucial to brands these days. And it was really great to see that rise. But I've really stuck with it because of the storytelling aspect and all of the fun things there.
Well, I love it. Storytelling is one of my favorite things to do. And I think it's super important, not only in marketing, but in sales as well. I think it's what really helps people understand that if you can listen and relate a story that you've seen to their situation, it shows them that they're listening, that you've seen it before, you have a solution, that type of thing. So I really love it in sales as well.
Yep.
So that's kind of cool. So storytelling, then, how can people be more effective storytellers potentially in a time when their typical things that they might be doing, like an event, a trade show, a user conference, whatever, they're all canceled. There's no face-to-face interaction there. If you're
Yeah.
selling things like medical devices, maybe you can't go have face-to-face interactions with your healthcare providers or your physicians. How
Yep.
can marketers use storytelling digitally to help them?
I think the storytelling piece is really, and I know that a lot of folks have covered this with you already. It's really about your message. It's really about your audience. But one of the things that I can get annoyingly hypercritical about is small things about how you deliver your story, and just really making sure that you're flipping all of your sentences. Any sentence that you have, whether it's going out in marketing messaging, whether it's in a blog, whether it's just in an email, if you start with something like, we know that you're struggling with X. You've really put yourself before your customer in that story. You've made your part of the story bigger than the pain point that they're trying to solve. And there's really small things you can do to flip those sentences. So just always starting with the customer, being hyper focused on that, and then also checking back and just doing a gut check on your tone. Like if it feels like something that you wouldn't like coming across your feed, or if it feels like something that might strike you as a little inauthentic, just go back and rewrite it. Stories are all about connections, and stories are all about emotions. And anytime that the stories we walk away from are the ones that really don't feel authentic, they just feel formulaic, and they feel like you're checking a box. And it's just not going to resonate now more than ever. A lot of the things you're saying too about things are being canceled and events and people are needing to really look to different ways. We have to remember that a lot of the different ways folks are looking to, they're all going to be flooding into that digital space.
Right.
And the message, think about your own inbox. How often do you go through each week and you read through, and if it feels inauthentic, and if it feels like a story that just is the same one from the previous three, you're unsubscribing, you're unfollowing, you're walking away from stuff. It's a really fine line to be sensitive, but you still have to sell.
Right.
So finding that story that connects with your buyer and then putting that out in a really clear way, I think that's the way that you win at the end of the day.
Yeah, I really love the idea of using stories to get yourself out of the sea of sameness that's likely happening overall. And that story coming from a place of putting yourself in their shoes, to keep it very simplistic and used one of our core values, makes a whole lot of sense.
Oh yeah. And I think too, like when you put yourself in somebody else's shoes, you have to be really honest about it. A lot of folks that we work with, they'll say things like, well, what I need the customer to do right now. And again, if you flip that, right, what does the customer need right now? Because the customer probably doesn't need to fill out a form fill. The customer probably needs something different. So thinking about it from a slightly different angle can really help you figure out the true buyer's journey and build that really cool story.
Man, I love it. That's super actionable. I think this is going to be kick-ass.
There you go.
Well, Tracy, I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for
All
having
right.
me.
You're welcome. Have a good day.